Hello, this is the Bullfrog, and I just finished my job. I am now outside the theater, and I'm about to watch the brand new Flash movie. And is it going to succeed or fail? I'm about to find out. So let's get this party started.
You could travel back in time.
No, that's ignorant.
You want to get nuts?
All right, I'm back in the pond. Now, how did the Flash movie do? Well, the story is that Barry Allen is getting a little anxious because his dad's going to go to he's trying to get his dad back into court and show off some evidence, probably just help save his dad from the prison system. But things aren't looking well for the evidence, and he already lost his mom was already killed. And the reason why his dad's in prison is because everyone thinks his dad killed her. So his whole life he's been trying to save his dad and pull him out. But it's not looking well for this. And out of grief and dealing with the anxieties and stress, the Flash does something, discovers he can go back in time. He ends up going to doing a Back to the Future. But this becomes, well, this.
This line represents time. Prior to this point in time, somewhere in the past, the timeline skewed into this tangent, creating an alternate 1985.
But the Flash's choice of saving his mom and restoring his family had bigger repercussions. This went beyond his mom's death. It affected Batman. It affected Superman. It affected other members of the Justice League. And due to this time alteration, he's going to have to deal with himself.
That's ignorant.
And how can he handle himself, keep him, and try to teach himself how to have powers, how to live with these powers and how to use them? And we discover, though, that this is far more in the past than he realized, because now we are in the Superman Man of Steel movie where General Zod's invading Earth. But the question is, how can you stop Zod without Superman? This is what the movie's building to. Building a new Justice League and trying to stop this apocalypse. This is the story. I'm going to talk about the pros first, and I came to the pros from interviewing an audience member after the movie was done. Me and him, through this interaction, he was able to defend the movie's pros, but also help me understand that the cons are there too. But let's talk about the pros first, huh? Because Batman is awesome.
Yeah.
Whether you are Michael Keaton or Ben Affleck, Batman is still awesome.
Yes! Yes!
And they had some awesome fight scenes. They really loved doing Batman in this movie. And they really stylized the CGI. It seems like they understood that CGI dates itself. What looks good now could look cheesy in a few years. So they tried to stylize it a bit more so it can stand on its own 2 feet when time passes. So those are good. And I enjoyed constantly hearing the Danny Elfman theme to Batman. It's one of the coolest superhero theme songs, and it was great to hear it again on that big screen. So,
Excellent!
Yes!
and there is an awesome spot of this movie, and I mean awesome. I was close to cheering, but other members of the audience were cheering. And the movie can make you laugh. I mean, other members of the audience was laughing. I was laughing. There was some fun in this movie. I thought it was good. But this is where the cons kind of pile up on this movie. And Ezra Miller
That's ignorant.
is meh. He's not recommended. I honestly think he shouldn't have been casted as the character of the Flash. But that's my opinion. Much as this movie is a Flash movie, it's not a Flash movie. I mean, the best way I had to describe this is the Tom Holland Spider-Man. The Tom Holland Spider-Man and the Ezra Miller Flash, these two characters' stories kind of have a lot of intersections with other heroes of their universe. But with Spider-Man, with Homecoming, Far From Home, and the third one, he has these interactions with Iron Man and Doctor Strange. As awesome it is to have them, they are more side characters, and they don't steal from, this is Spider-Man's part of the world. We have Spider-Man villains, we have Spider-Man characters, and we're seeing a Spider-Man's side of this world. When you look at the Flash, we have the Ezra Miller Flash.
That's ignorant.
His dad and mom. And if you know the comics, you'll understand who Iris West is. But if you don't know the comics, you'll care very little less about Iris West. And that's it. And the villains of this movie are General Zod and this mysterious character. And the mysterious character, when we first meet him, it's a few seconds. Second time we meet him, it's another few seconds. We only get to really meet this mysterious character at the second climax. And that's more of a discussion than a fight. This is all we get of the Flash world. We get to meet Barry Allen and go into his character and the weight that hangs over him and the stress and the anxieties and him having this big character analysis of him being so weighed on the past that he's not looking to the present and the future. And the fact that he has this level of irresponsibility to him. And it's not as well, the movie's heavily revolving around the struggle of Barry Allen being Barry Allen. Who is the Flash is just the power of what makes the Flash the Flash. So what does Flash stand for? What is the mantle of the Flash? We don't know. And again, we get very little of the Flash world. We know nothing of his gallery of rogues. The average Joe doesn't know. This could have been the movie to help us introduce to them. But the only person we get is a few seconds, and a few minutes. There's not that much for us to build on. We know very little of this character. And all these other characters, again, Michael Keaton Batman, and the brand new version that the Flash has to teach in order how to understand his powers. And we get to meet Kara-El, Supergirl. These characters, we already know they're parts of well, that's a lie. We only know 2 of these 3 characters' worlds. We know who Batman is. We all understand who Superman is. And so we have a level of understanding with Supergirl. But this new Flash, we are basically seeing Back to the Future.
It's my fault. The whole thing is my fault. If I...
No, that's all in the past.
You mean the future?
Whatever.
So, and that awesome moment that I gushed over in the pros, that had nothing to do with the Flash character. This is his movie. The biggest point, the biggest amazement should be him showing off how amazing or powerful or jaw-dropping he is. And that wasn't the main character. Cool moments should belong to the main character, not the side characters and not the Easter eggs. It should be revolving around the main character, but we didn't get that. which is a heavy bummer. We have the chance to do something amazing and try to show off how cool these powers could be, or him having this awesome, brilliant moment as him being the Flash. But no, we got these side characters having these moments. Batman is the best. And the second climax, where the Flash and his villain are having this discussion, I'm not going to spoil, but it's the ultimate Easter eggs galore. The price of a ticket is worth it. For those moments, it is worth it, people. It's worth it. I would recommend this movie for that. Did you just listen to what I just said? The Flash movie, I would recommend it because of him and her. Those two are the main reasons, but not The Flash. This is a movie called The Flash, but you don't embrace what the Flash is, because I don't know what the Flash is. I love the character, I like the superpowers, but I know very little to squat nothing about who are his villains. Why is the Flash mantle so important? He is one of the most overpowered characters of the DC, and yet I know very little about him personally. I was hoping this movie could do it, but they didn't. They helped me understand who Barry is, but not who is the Flash. That's a bummer. This movie didn't go good for me. I, again, would recommend it for the cameos and the levels of laughter you could get, but this is a movie I wouldn't watch again and again and again. Unless you invite me, I will come with you. But altogether, I don't want to watch this a lot. And with that, what would I rate this movie? Well, from 1 out of 7, I give it a 4. I just didn't like this movie. But again, that's my opinion. If you agree or disagree, go down say it in the comments. And until next time, this is the Bullfrog signing out. Honestly, if you want to see a good version of this movie, just watch Flashpoint.
Bruce is dead. I watched him die.
My God, he's the one who died that night in the alley. Bruce died, and you lived. You're his father. You're Thomas Wayne.